This is your friend. He's very smart, he's very kind, he's loyal, and he helps you out with your homework every now and then. His name is, for the sake of today, PY, which may or may not stand for Python. And PY is very literal. He takes instructions very, very literally. And that is why his mom has severe hair loss. Now, PY is easy to give instructions to. You just have to be careful because you have to be very specific. And yeah, well, I lied. PY does stand for Python. And if you imagine Python as a person, then it's easier to understand how to code. You're giving a person a set of instructions of what you want them to do. And our very first set of instructions is print, which you can view as the same way as saying say. All right? So print, open bracket, quotation mark, hello world, quotation mark, close bracket. And then PY would say, hello world. Now, please pay attention to this, because this is where a lot of people will lose marks. When you say print, hello world, notice there's quotation marks. And those quotation marks are important because I am telling PY to print letters, not numbers, which is the default. So we have to add those quotation marks as if somebody was talking, like in English. And this is because we have a syntax, which is a set of rules we have to follow as not to confuse PY. Now, what if I said print without the quotation marks? What would happen? Well, I told PY, hey, I want you to say these numbers. That's technically what this says. Print these numbers, because there's no quotation marks. So PY would be like, oh my god, you're so silly. H isn't a number, so you must not want me to say it. Duh. Well, not really. And that's why we have to make sure that we include those quotation marks. And it tells it, hey PY, I want you to say these string of letters, which come out to be hello world. Now, what if I want to do numbers? Remember, without the quotation marks, we go into the default of the print function, which is numbers. And in this case, you will see that hello world prints on a line, and then it'll go to the next line and print 3. Now, what if I wanted it all to be in the same line? I can add two types of information, like hello world and 3, which is a string and an integer, and separate it by a comma, and that way we can print it, and you will see it goes hello world space 3. I can also make 3 a character, so now PY will read it as, I want you to read this list of characters. Hello world 3. And now 3 is a character. Weird, I know. Now, what if I wanted to print this statement right here, but I wanted it to be on 2 separate lines? Why would I do that? I'm going to put it into one print statement to save me space, and so then I don't have to write print more than once, because I'm lazy, you're lazy, we're going to coding, we're going to be lazy, copy and paste. And maybe I still want it to be on a separate line. Lucky for you, PY is a smart kid. If he sees \n, then he will go to a new line and start typing there. If he sees a \t, he will go into an indent using the tab button and start typing from there. Now, let's rewind a little bit to this example where we have the hello world, comma, 3. There's a space in between the world and 3. And if for some diabolical reason I didn't want a space to be there, I can make the separation equal to 0, which means that the separation that default exists when I add a comma is going to equal nothing now. And as you can see, it will be stuck to the world. Again, this is very diabolical. Please don't do this unless you're trying to format something very specifically. If you want to practice print functions, go to my next video where I show you a demo. Thank you. If you have any coding problem that you would like me to attempt, and for you to see the explanation of how you would get a solution, not necessarily the only solution, but a solution, please do leave it in the comment section of either this video or any other video, and I will be checking the comment section and doing some of the questions that people have.